There are days when humanity surprises itself, when the calendar page turns and greatness refuses to stay quiet. May 28th is one of those days. It's the day Alan Turing published the paper that would birth the computer age, giving machines the power to think. It's the day restorers unveiled Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper after 2 decades of painstaking work, allowing the world to see a masterpiece reborn. And it's the day Takuma Sato crossed the finish line at Indianapolis, becoming the first Japanese driver to conquer the greatest race in motorsport. From the birth of computing to the resurrection of Renaissance genius to a barrier-breaking victory at 200 miles per hour, May 28 proves that human ambition knows no limits. It's 1936, and in a modest room at King's College, Cambridge, a 23-year-old mathematician is about to change the course of human history with nothing more than a pencil, paper, and an idea so radical it will take decades for the world to fully comprehend its power. Alan Turing has just submitted a paper called On Computable Numbers to the London Mathematical Society, and in doing so, he has invented the theoretical blueprint for every computer that will ever exist. Think about that for a moment. 90 years ago today, before the first electronic computer was ever built, before silicon chips, before smartphones, before the internet transformed our lives, one brilliant mind imagined it all. The challenge Turing faced seemed almost philosophical rather than mathematical. He was tackling what's called the decision problem, a puzzle that had haunted mathematics for decades. Could there be a mechanical process, a set of rules, that could determine whether any mathematical statement was provable? The greatest minds in mathematics believed this question might be unanswerable. But Turing approached it differently. He imagined a hypothetical machine, impossibly simple yet infinitely powerful. A device that could read symbols on an endless tape, write new symbols, and move left or right, following a set of instructions. That's it. That's all it could do. And yet Turing proved that this humble imaginary device could compute anything that is computable. What made this achievement so extraordinary wasn't just its mathematical elegance. It was the sheer audacity of imagination required. Remember, this was an era of adding machines and slide rules. The idea of a universal computing machine existed nowhere in the popular consciousness. Turing didn't just solve a problem. He invented an entirely new way of thinking about thought itself. The journey to this moment had been solitary and intense. Turing was known as eccentric, often lost in his own brilliant inner world. His ideas came to him during long-distance runs across the English countryside, his mind racing faster than his feet. He saw patterns and possibilities invisible to others. When the paper was published, the mathematical community recognized its importance immediately. But nobody, not even Turing himself, could have predicted where this theoretical foundation would lead. Today, every laptop, every phone, every server powering our connected world operates on principles Turing laid down 9 decades ago. His imaginary machine became real billions of times over. Alan Turing gave humanity a gift beyond measure, the architecture of the digital age, born from pure thought, written on paper. It is June 28, 1999. In Milan, Italy, a heavy curtain falls away, and for the first time in over 2 decades, the world can finally see Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper as the master intended. 500 years of decay, damage, and despair have been pushed back by human determination. The impossible has been achieved. A masterpiece has been brought back from the brink of oblivion. For 22 years, a team of dedicated restorers worked inch by painstaking inch across this monumental wall painting. 22 years. Think about that. Children were born, grew up, and graduated from university in the time it took to complete this single act of artistic salvation. The Last Supper had been dying almost from the moment Leonardo finished it in 1498. Unlike traditional fresco techniques, Leonardo experimented with oil and tempera paints on a dry wall, and the results were catastrophic. Within decades, the paint began to flake. Moisture seeped through the walls. Napoleon's troops used the room as a stable. Allied bombs nearly destroyed the building in World War II. By the 20th century, many experts believed the original painting was lost forever, buried beneath centuries of botched restoration attempts, grime, and decay. Enter Pinin Brumbilla Barcelon, the woman who would dedicate more than 2 decades of her life to this singular mission. Armed with microscopes, surgical scalpels, and extraordinary patience, she and her team removed layer after layer of previous restorations, some dating back centuries. They worked centimeter by centimeter, sometimes spending an entire day on a space no larger than a postage stamp. The challenges were immense. How do you distinguish Leonardo's original brushstrokes from the work of restorers who came after? How do you remove 500 years of pollution without damaging what lies beneath? Critics questioned every decision. Some said too much was being removed. Others claimed not enough. The weight of history pressed down on every single choice. But Barcelona persevered. Her team persevered. And when the restoration was finally unveiled, the world gasped. Colors unseen for centuries emerged from the shadows. The expressions on the apostles' faces, Leonardo's revolutionary depiction of human emotion, could finally be read again. Details thought lost forever reappeared like ghosts returning to life. Today, only 25 visitors are allowed into the room at a time, for just 15 minutes, to protect this fragile treasure. The Last Supper remains one of the most visited artworks on Earth, a testament to both Leonardo's genius and the extraordinary dedication of those who refuse to let his vision fade into darkness. Some masterpieces survive the ages on their own. Others require here. The white flag waves, one lap to go, and Takuma Sato refuses to lift. Through turn 1, through turn 2, Elio Castroneves closing fast behind him. The crowd of 300,000 rises to their feet. And as that checkered flag falls at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, history explodes into life. Takuma Sato has done it. Japan has done it. Asia has done it. The Indianapolis 500 belongs to a son of Tokyo. May 28, 2017. 9 years ago today. A barrier that had stood for over a century finally shattered. The Indianapolis 500 is not merely a race. It is the most demanding single-day event in all of motorsport. 500 miles of relentless speed, where split-second decisions separate triumph from tragedy, where engines scream at the edge of destruction, and where only the most complete drivers survive. For Japanese drivers, this ultimate prize had remained tantalizingly out of reach. Legends had tried. Heroes had fallen short. Many wondered if it would ever happen at all. But Takuma Sato was no ordinary driver. His journey to this moment was paved with setbacks that would have broken lesser competitors. A Formula One career that showed flashes of brilliance but ended without the glory he deserved. A transition to American racing that demanded he rebuild everything he knew. Crashes. Criticism. Questions about whether his aggressive style would ever translate to victory at the highest level. Sato answered those doubters with unwavering belief. He famously embraced the philosophy of no attack, no chance. And on that blazing May afternoon, he attacked when it mattered most. The drama of that race extended beyond Sato's charge to the front. Fernando Alonso, the two-time Formula One world champion, had arrived at Indianapolis seeking motorsport's triple crown. He led 27 laps, looking every bit the favorite. Then, with just 21 laps remaining, his Honda engine erupted in smoke. Alonso's dream died on the backstretch, and Sato seized destiny with both hands. When he crossed that yard of bricks in first position, the emotion was overwhelming. Tears streamed down his face. An entire nation celebrated half a world away. He had proven that the impossible was merely the untried. Sato's victory opened floodgates of possibility. He would win Indianapolis again in 2020, cementing his legacy among the race's greatest champions. His triumph showed aspiring drivers across Asia that the biggest stages in global motorsport were within their reach. Today, his name is etched forever on the Borg Warner Trophy. A reminder that dreams pursued with relentless courage can reshape history itself. From Alan Turing laying the foundations for every device we use today, to the breathtaking restoration that brought Da Vinci's masterpiece back to life, to Takuma Sato making history at the Indianapolis 500, these moments remind us that human potential knows no limits. So tell us in the comments, which record impressed you the most? Was it the birth of computing, the revival of timeless art, or that incredible victory on the track? We'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this journey through history, hit that subscribe button and join us next time for more amazing stories that shaped our world.